This is my informative speech on the 8 steps to home buying. With the economy growth slowing down and unemployment rising, there's a lot of houses up for sale. If you are fortunate enough to still have a job that allows you to purchase a house, then I suggest you take advantage of this buyer's market. If this is something that you have been considering, then I have 8 easy steps for you to check this big milestone off of your list and to purchase your dream home. 8 steps are: get pre-approved, come up with a down payment, find an agent, search for a house, make an offer, wait on a reply, settle on a price, get inspection, and lastly, close the deal. Getting pre-approved is a big part of this. Before you go out shopping for a house, I want y'all to go and shop for a mortgage. Banks are very competitive these days, so I suggest that you go to multiple lenders and find the best interest rate. 2 years ago when I purchased my house, I had a 4.5% interest rate, and that was the best interest rate around. Nowadays, it's easy to find a 3 3/4% interest rate anywhere. When you find out how much you can borrow, you find out how much house you can afford. I suggest going to a traditional fixed rate rather than an adjustable rate. Adjustable rates might look appealing at first, but next year it might jump up to 2%, and then it fluctuate throughout your whole 15 to 30 year mortgage. Do not let your lender pressure you into getting into a mortgage you can't handle. You know your spending rate, man, you know your spending habits, and if you don't, then I suggest 3 months before you go and try and get pre-approved, you go and make a spreadsheet and find out where all your money is going, and that'll let you know how much house you can afford. Getting pre-approved is the whole object of this step. This is after the bank have looked at your credit and your financial statements and decided they'll let you borrow some of their money. Sellers love pre-approved buyers. This take away from the risk of the deals falling apart or something. Getting to the second step, coming up with a down payment. Now this is optional, just because some lenders don't require you to even have a down payment. 20% is an ideal down payment because you won't have to go and buy mortgage insurance. But most lenders out right now, they're wanting a 3 to 5% down payment. Now, when you go to find an agent, ask your close friends, relatives, and or co-workers their recommendation of a good agent. Make sure that you feel comfortable with this agent. And throughout the process, if they aren't meeting your expectations, don't feel stuck like you're stuck with them. You can just drop them and you can go and get you a new agent. You're not losing anything from getting the agent because it's free to you. The sellers are paying them commission. So I really suggest you get you an agent. But if you don't, make sure that you find you a good lawyer to deal with the paperwork later on in the home buying process. Next comes searching for a house. Now, most people have an ideal area where they want to live at. So you can look there, see if you can afford a house, and if you can, then that's great. But I still suggest that you go to different areas, nice areas in the town that you live in, that you don't mind living in, and compare the houses that you can afford there to the houses you can afford in your ideal area. But once you do find your house that you want to live in, make sure you don't fall in love with this place, because you might not get it. In worst case scenario, you might end up falling in love with it and you overpay for it, and then it's going to hurt you in the long run. Next step is making the offer. When you find that house, make sure that your agent pull up comps. Comps are comparable houses in the area. These could be houses that are for sale right now or houses that have been sold in the last few months. This will give you a good idea of how much the house is worth and how much you should be paying for it. Once you do come up to a reasonable offer, present this. Most people don't offer the full asking price, which is a good idea, but make sure you don't lowball the seller. because that'll lead the seller to reject your offer and ultimately say they don't want to deal with you anymore. Now, once you come up with that offer, it comes to waiting. Usually it takes 48 hours unless it says different in your contract, well, in your offer. If you didn't offer the full asking price, expect the counter offer. And these negotiations, you can go back with a counter offer. These negotiations can go on for a few days, a week or whatever. But after you and the seller settle on the price, then you have to present your buyer's check. This is usually a check that you give to the seller to let you know that you are serious about this and to hold your spot so they won't let anybody else come and make an offer. This is usually 1% of the contract price. Moving on, getting close to the end. This is when you feel excited and you feel like this is your house. You had a contract on there. This is probably the most important step of it all, getting your inspection. Ask your agent to, recommend a certified inspector. Make sure, I repeat, make sure you do not skip this step, because everybody wants a place where they can come home at night and feel safe and know that this place, that they didn't make the wrong choice and this place is gonna fall on them with termite damage or anything. Now, once you do get this inspection, if you find a major problem, you can either do two things. You can go to the seller and ask them to fix these problems before the closing date, or you can ask them to reimburse you the cost of the repairs. If they do not meet these requirements, don't be scared to walk away from this problem, because you do not want to go into a house that you don't feel comfortable with. You are already paying all of this money and you might not have the money to fix all these major problems. So get it taken care of before you actually close. Last step, closing the deal. This is when you call your lenders and hire an agent, hire a lawyer to come in and set up the closing date. After you close the deal, it's time to celebrate. Pop out the champagne, call up your friends, ask them to help you move. You better hope that they owe you some favors right now, because they're gonna be moving a lot of stuff. All right. Now, with these 8 steps, hopefully you'll be able to breeze through the home buying process. But let me repeat these for you. Here we go. The 8 steps to home buying is getting pre-approved, coming up with a down payment, finding an agent, searching for a house, making an offer, waiting on a reply, getting an inspection, and closing the deal. Hopefully y'all have learned a lot of stuff from my informative speech, and y'all have a nice night.